moment in time, you're currently under arrest for making off without payment. You don't have to say anything.
But I haven't made off.
We don't mention one question to the little line court. Anything you do is to make a given evidence.
But I haven't made off though.
For your arrest as recorded in factual investigation. Never seen them in my life.
So it's from the Royal Mint, so the same place that all legal tender comes from.
Have you got any other means of payment at the minute?
I don't know. Right. Can I ask why you didn't tell me before you started recording?
So when we go to any incident, our tour of duty and our police protocol is to video every incident we go to achieve the best evidence.
But you've got to notify the person at the first available opportunity.
No, we don't.
You do.
Have you got that from somewhere? Have you read that up somewhere? Or?
Yes, your policy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at the minute, we're obviously videoing everything because we've been called to an incident. Immediate response where there's some ongoing issue with payment, whether it's a domestic...
999?
Well, that's what's coming as, yeah.
Wow.
Well, we just didn't know what was happening. There was an altercation in the shop, so we've arrived on that instance. Are you going to...
Buckle up, guys. Today we're diving into one of the most unbelievable cases of police overreach caught on camera. What begins as a simple fuel stop quickly turns into a storm of confusion and authority gone wrong. The intro lays out the whole setup. An auditor tries to pay with a 20-pound Royal Mint coin a legal tender, but the staff refuse, call the police, and chaos follows. This is the moment where a civil issue begins its descent into a legal mess.
Give me your name.
I'm not, no.
Right, okay. Because is there a reason for that?
Because it's a civil matter, and it's not something that the police can get involved in.
To a degree, you're right. It is a civil matter. We can deal with it a different way, but obviously, ultimately, you haven't paid for the fuel. But they're not accepting that money.
But that's up to them to accept it. If they decline...
They've obviously run the post office and they've declined that. Ultimately, it's a civil issue, but if you're not willing to give us your details, then how do we know that you're going to resolve the civil issue at a later date? If you're happy to give us your details, then we can look at the civil issue at a later date.
But that's a civil issue. That's nothing for the police to get involved in.
We don't know your details, do we? So you could technically escape from here and never come back and never deal with that issue. Then you'd be circulated as wanted for that, won't you, for making off without payment?
That's not a police issue at the minute.
It is. It is a police issue because you've not paid for fuel. So there's still an offence there of that you've not paid for your fuel.
But I have paid. I've gave them.
But you've gave them this coin, yeah, which ultimately they've spoke to the post office and they've decided that it's not a reasonable amount of payment for your fuel. So at the minute we're sort of hands are tied, yeah. Agree with you on a certain instance of that, but we still need a solution today. Whether we take your details and we deal with it a little. So basically, he's trying to pay with this. They've run the post office and said that it doesn't really exist. You can't pay with that. No. He obviously won't give us our details. I've explained to him to a degree it's a civil matter. However, if he does make off and he doesn't give us our details, we're struggling for any sort of civil issue at a later date. Any details for making off without payment, yeah. So I've explained if he does give us his details and we know where he is and we can contact him at a later date, hopefully this issue can get resolved. Now he's obviously not really wanting to do that at the minute.
Because it's a civil issue and it's nothing for the police to get involved in.
But you're still going to make off, aren't you? Technically without payment, but if we can get your details...
But I have paid.
But you haven't...
And it is their policy to accept the £20 coin.
Has he paid?
Policy? No, he hasn't.
Right, if you haven't paid, and if you walk out the door now...
They've still got the money though.
Just let me finish. If you walk out that door now, you are liable for an arrest because we don't have your details.
But you don't need them.
Well, I do.
Because it's a civil issue.
But it's not, because a make off without payment is then a police matter.
Alright guys, from the moment the first officer walks in, you can already feel the tension rising. The auditor questions her about recording, and instead of acknowledging the rule, she flatly denies it. Then she insists on getting his name for what she herself calls a civil matter. This part perfectly exposes how quickly officers can twist minor issues into something they can control, authority first, understanding later.
If you walk out that door now, If you walk out that door now, you'll be getting arrested for make off without payment.
But there is an agreement with BP that the coin can be used.
Is there any other way that you can pay? Because we're going to sit here for hours arguing. I've been quite respectful to you. I appreciate you have to a degree, and I appreciate that from yourself. You haven't been argumentative with me, and I appreciate that you've been a normal human being. However, we need
I don't intend to. No,
I know you appreciate that.
If you can pay for the fuel now by other means, then that's fair enough. It'll be the end of the matter.
Or if you can give us your details, and we can deal with it at a slower time. We can offer you that. But if you're not willing to do either any, then we're struggling with what we have left to do.
Because we can't let you walk out that door without paying. But
do you know where you live? You might not even be from around here. I'm not saying you are, but you know what I mean. We have people where they'll make off and then they won't give us our details, and then we're going to struggle. I'm still going to have that £20 of fuel, unfortunately, with this BP garage outstanding.
Which car is it?
But I have paid for the fuel.
But you haven't paid for the fuel. Which one?
Right, we're going round in circles, aren't we?
We are, unfortunately, yeah. We've agreed, we've reasoned with you now, and we've tried to say that if you give us your details, just tell you where they live, we'll deal with it slow time. However...
Now watch closely, this is where things really start heating up. The officer admits it's a civil issue but immediately tries to flip it into a criminal one by suggesting he could be circulated as wanted. That's pure bluff and she knows it. This is the turning point where the auditor stays calm but the officers double down, inventing powers they don't have, showing just how easily intimidation replaces lawful reason.
You then leave, you don't have your details, you don't know where you live, you could live in London for all we know, and then there's still this making off without payment because they will not accept this as payment.
But I don't have to identify for a civil issue.
It technically isn't a civil issue though, is it, when you leave and you don't pay? You haven't paid for your fuel. We've got the payment here which isn't acceptable, so really you haven't paid.
Because I've handed the coin over.
Right.
So I haven't got that in my possession and I've contacted BP head office before coming here.
Right, and was that today then or?
No.
So when was that then? So you've contacted BP head office before you've come in?
Correct.
Right, so was it to contact them today or was it yesterday or last week or?
It's not up to me to say that.
How's it money?
Do you understand what the £20 coin is?
No, that's why I'm confused.
Well, why are you threatening me for arrest then, if you don't know?
Because it's not money.
It is.
Right. We'll agree to disagree. At the end
you
of the
don't know that. It is. It's
Right.
legal tender, the same as a £20 note and a £10 note.
Right, and who did you speak to from the BP garage, the manager?
It's a Royal Mint who issued that £20 coin.
Right. Okay.
So it's the same money as any other money.
If you get someone on the phone to me who you've spoken to earlier, then we could kind of end the matter here, can't we?
Well, if it's a civil
you're not
issue, I
on
don't need
but
to
at the minute
assist you.
But at the minute we don't know it's a civil matter.
But I don't need to assist you in a civil issue.
But you do, because it then turns into a police matter because we don't know that kind.
It's a civil
You're running the risk of
agreement.
being arrested because you haven't given us details and you're going to walk out that door and it's technically a failure to pay.
But then it'll be a
Make up for
civil.
that payment.
But then I'll sue you.
Well, that's
So,
fine. If you want to sue us, that's fine.
unlawful arrest.
Like I said, we've been honest with you in terms of which way we can go. The staff here have been very honest, okay? And all I'm saying
Well, he
is, if
hasn't.
you get the person on the phone who you spoke to earlier with the agreement, then that could be the end of the matter. But
you
as
know-
far as I do, then technically, if you walk out the door, it's going to be make without payment.
He's already accepted to take it.
You haven't accepted to take it. No, haven't accepted to take it. You walk out that door, becomes a criminal matter, and you get arrested for make off without payment.
Oh, you give us your details.
You're refusing to give us your details, and we don't know that vehicle is yours because you're not.
But I've told you
Is it urgent?
that he said he would take the coin
But he isn't now, is
if
he?
I take my mask off.
Right, well I wasn't here for that, so we have no witnesses, unfortunately, other than you and him. Right now.
Here the second officer joins in and instead of de-escalating she jumps straight to threats of arrest. The auditor hasn't refused payment and is still talking, yet they're preparing to treat him like a criminal. It's the perfect example of how officers can escalate peaceful situations just because they don't understand the law. This whole exchange is driven by pride, not principle.
I can't view that.
Body camera.
But right now I can't view that. At the end of the day, you've come in, you've paid for you've got your fuel, you've come in. This isn't a payable matter. Once you leave, we've offered you to give us your details and deal with that way. For all I know, that vehicle could be registered to somebody else and lived in London. And how are we ever going to trace you?
But I don't need to assist you.
Once you leave this situation, it is making off without payment. I can't be any more reasonable with you and give you some sort of options that we can go.
But I
with,
don't
but you
need to
still
assist
refuse
you.
to. Are you offering to give
Because
the
you're
staff,
wrong.
not myself, not my colleague, the staff your name and contact number?
No.
Right, so we have one option, but two will lock you up then.
Well, I've got a civil agreement in the background.
You can
So-
prove that at court.
I've
You
got
can prove that at court.
That's
then.
fine. You can prove that at court.
Right, well, this moment in time, you're currently under arrest for making off without payment. You don't
I
have to
haven't-
say anything,
but I haven't made off.
Defense. We don't mention one question in the letter line. Court, anything you do is to make a good evidence.
But I haven't made off though.
For your arrest as a prompted and factual investigation. Okay?
But I haven't made off.
That you're under caution as well.
And due to the fact you failed to provide data.
But I haven't made off.
Fails to provide details, yeah.
But I haven't made off.
Right, are we going to go calmly? Are we going to go quietly?
We would go calmly all the time.
Okay, well, do you want to walk with us then?
Of course.
Thank you. Just come with me, sir, please. Have you got anything in your pockets that's going to harm me or you? Just take them out. It's just a question we ask everybody.
Can we just take your camera off as well, please?
About 10 months ago, I walked out of those gates after being falsely arrested for using the £20 coin. The chief...
This section captures the height of absurdity. The auditor calmly explains that the £20 coin is legal tender, but the officer, clueless about its legitimacy, insists it isn't money. Instead of checking facts, they try to push the burden on him. The irony here is painful. The very people tasked with upholding the law clearly don't know it. The auditor stands firm and their ignorance becomes the biggest evidence against them.
Constable has paid out £4,000 in compensation, but unfortunately he did not apologise at any point, even taking him to court. He went all the way to court, we had the hearing date, and then the chief constable saw some sense and paid £4,000 in compensation, but No apology.
And here it all unravels. The officers arrest him for making off without payment while he's literally standing inside the shop. He hasn't gone anywhere. He hasn't refused to pay, yet they proceed with a baseless arrest. This part shows the raw misuse of authority where ego overrules evidence. The law couldn't be clearer, yet they ignore it entirely, turning a civil misunderstanding into a full-blown wrongful arrest. Months later, justice catches up. The auditor walks away with nearly £4,000 in compensation after taking the force to court, but no apology. That silence from the chief constable speaks louder than any statement could. It reveals a system more interested in saving face than fixing itself. This final part reminds us all power without accountability is just abuse. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.